De Bruyne's corner. Holland! Goal! It's Mo Salah! It's Mo Salah! Absolutely sensational!
I'm alive. Welcome back for another deadline stream, everyone. How are we today? We're back, Game Week 33, double game week. The biggest double game week for the rest of the season. My bench boost is active. How are you all doing today? Thank you all for being here already. Jago says, I'm alive. Aiden, welcome to the stream. Shiv, Danny, BBM, welcome. XXX, and then obviously 8 Theory, David, Sean, George, Harlotsville, Ashley, Lodi, Ben, Ryan, and everyone else that's in the stream. We've got Joseph, Harlotsville, Mercy, Brandon, Ryan, British, Linford. Welcome all to the stream. How's everyone doing today? Non-stop FPL. We've got football, if I'm not mistaken, it's today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 5 straight days of football. I think Monday's game's a bit dead. I think that's Spurs v Forest, but still. It's a double game week, that's exciting. My bench boost is active. I've only got a couple of chips left as well. Ben Foster says, I've been waiting since last night for this stream, Oscar. Well, we're finally live. We're finally here for the next 2 hours until the deadline. Who's got the bench boost active? Bench boosters rise. Let us know in the chat. Or if you haven't, and you've got another chip active, then which chip have you got active? Is Aston Villa defence a must? Definitely not a must. I mean, look at the fixtures. It's pretty bad, isn't it? Newcastle home, Man City away. I've got Martinez. Honestly, I would take like 5-6 points from him if he just makes a bunch of saves. I'll be surprised if he keeps a clean sheet in either game. Bryce suggests a chip poll. Yeah, let's do a chip poll. Which chip have you got active? So we'll go bench boost, free hit, triple captain, assistant manager. Is anyone on a wild card? We're gonna have to just put 4 options because we can only have 4. Wazza says Saka. I think my microphone's a bit loud there. I'm shouting into it. Wazza says Saka or KDB. Saka or KDB considering Saka's minutes. I would rather Saka still. I mean, I would say KDB and Saka are pretty comparable for minutes in this double. And Man City play next weekend as well. Arsenal don't. For Arsenal, it's tomorrow, so that's an extra day. Wednesday, nothing next weekend, and then obviously it's the Champions League on Tuesday. So I would say Saka's way better than KDB, in my opinion. It's not even close if you ask me. I think Saka's much better. Don't get me wrong, they both could be benched for one of the two games. Maybe KDB starts both and benched in the FA Cup. It's hard to predict, but I prefer Saka if I was picking either one. Will Edison play? No, Edison's out, Charlotte, and Pep didn't even say when he'll be back, so I don't know if it'll be the second game in the double or longer. All he said was that he's out for the Everton game, which is the first game in the double. So yeah, if you've got him, I would be selling him if you need him in your team this week. You've got no chip active. Yeah, if you haven't got a chip active, then ignore this poll. There'll be more polls to come that you can vote in if you don't have a chip active. Get your votes in and we'll have a look at how that's looking in a minute. FPL aside, how's life treating you, Oscar? Life's good, yeah. My mate from school has just flown back from Canada and he arrived on Wednesday, so after today's stream I'm heading into London to go out with him and my mates. So yeah, I won't be actually watching the games today, so I don't know if I'll do a transfer plans video, because I tend to just do those when I've actually watched the games, because I like to cover what happened. So maybe no Sunday video, but yeah, looking forward to that, going out in London with the boys. Oscar, be more active on your Discord channel. I know, I need to be more active. To be fair, I have it open every day. I just lurk. Like, if someone tags me, I reply pretty quickly, but yeah, I tend to lurk on Discord, if I'm honest. But I mean, if you search my name, I do reply to messages, but yeah, probably like once every couple of days. So yeah, apologies for that. But if anyone wants to join the Discord, there's like 13,000 members, FPL managers, so the link's in the description to join. There's some characters on Discord, that's the only way I can put it. Some of the stuff I get tagged in when a moderator is needed. Jesus. Savinho start over Isak? Yeah, I would. I still reckon there's a good chance he starts today. So I would start Savinho over Isak myself. How we doing, Ben? Oscar, your voice is made for radio. Thanks, Pete. Start Strand Larsen or Wood? I think Strand Larsen. So they've got Man United home, I believe. And did you see what Amorim said after the Europa League? He said, we're going to have to just play the kids in the league now. Our entire focus is the Europa League, something to that effect. So I think they're a team to target. And yeah, like I think Mbumo's got them in Gameweek 35, so I might buy him then. Obviously, Wolves playing this week. Joshua says, thoughts on Burn to Conser? I'll do that for free, not for a hit. I like Kivior even more, but I assume you'll triple up on Arsenal. Yeah, and then obviously like the likes of Saliba, Vardy, but they cost way more. Yeah, I'd do it for free, not for a hit. This is the problem I've got, Josh. Like, if Wan-Bissaka, if we get a leak, Wan-Bissaka's out, I just don't think it's worth a hit. Like, I'm gonna have to just bench boost 3 players, which is really annoying because like Wan-Bissaka's played 30 straight games in a row. 30 consecutive starts, and then he's got a yellow flag the week I actually need him. The 1 week of the entire season that I need Wan-Bissaka, he's got his yellow flag. So yeah, that's annoying. He might still play. Potter said he's had the injection in his toe and he should be okay. That was his words. So let's hope. Nova says, hi Oscar, I already used the free hit bench boost this game week. Your bench boost in this game week, you're thinking Clivert, Matoma, Trippier to Mbumo, Kivior, Murphy, or Barnes for a -4. 8/9 players, monthly transfer for game week 34. Yeah. Do you need to do... Who have Brighton got? Do you need to do the Murphy hit though? I'm not sure if you need to. I mean, Newcastle have got Villa away. Matoma, Herzl said, is fit. They've got Brentford away. I don't know if I would do it for a -4. Do the other 2 moves. I think I'd prefer Murphy. Just in case Gordon starts to eat away at Barnes' minutes. Yeah. I'll do the other moves. Mbumo, Kivior's good. I don't know if I would do a hit to sell Matoma when he's back and available. Alright, hang on, Tom. I forgot to put slow mode on, so let me do that. because otherwise it gets well spammy, and I know you guys don't like spam, so I forgot to put that on. All right, let's do Tom's messages, because Tom's... he says, Oscar, do I take a hit to go Kirkes to Ruben Diaz? Kirkes to Ruben Diaz. For a hit. Don't know if I'd do that for a hit. Probably not for a hit. Myself. I don't mind it. It's just Akanji's back in training now, isn't he? So Ruben should be safe for this double, I would say. But longer term, he could be a problem. I probably wouldn't do it. Like Bournemouth have a good chance of doubling 36 as well. I don't think I would do that for a hit. Do we sell Foden? I mean, we might get some news near the deadline because they've technically got the early kickoff, haven't they? Yeah, I mean, there's a chance we get some team news. I'd wait for that first of all. If he doesn't start, then I would sell him, yeah. And in terms of replacements, there's loads of ways you could go. I quite like Rodgers, but I also like some single game weekers like Mbeumo and Bowen. Just depends on what spaces you've got. Like if you're not on Triple Palace, then Eze or Sarr are good. If you're not tripled up on Villa, then I like Rodgers. Is anyone going Rashford this week, or are you just not trusting the minutes? Are you rolling, Oscar? No, actually I haven't even talked about my team yet. I'm going to make a transfer during the stream. I've got 0.6 mil on the bank. I've got one free transfer, and I happen to have exact money for Murphy to Rodgers. So it was meant to be, I think. So that's what I'm going to do. And that's how I'll look with a bench boost team. So I'll have 10 doublers. So less than some of you. The max you can have is 12, obviously, because 4 teams double. And I know some of you have got 12, but I'm alright with 10. To be fair, the third Villa spot is pretty murky for me. I don't really know. I don't really know who's the best third Villa. Like, is it Rashford? But then which midfielder do I lose? Maybe it's just Konsa. But then what if Villa get the double game week 36 and I'm tripled up and I want to go to Watkins or Rashford for sure by then? Right now it's just not clear. Nor's the third Man City asset in my opinion. So if Focal responds to my message, I will captain Verbrugge in this game week. No cap. There you go. You're going to have to do it now. The confetti. Dan, thanks for the 18 months. He says, if you were to move for only a single game week midfielder, would you pick Mbeumo or Bowen? I would go Mbeumo. It's really close, actually. But I think Mbeumo. I'm a bit of a penalty merchant. I love an FPL asset who's on pens, and I would say Mbeumo just edges it, although Bowen's got the better fixture this week. Just done it. Alright, I'll take your word for it. Watkins for Mateta, who's got the better upside on a free hit. I'd probably go Watkins over Mateta. It's a tricky one because we've kind of had a leak already, or not a leak, but Glasner actually told us Mateta starts. So we know that for the first game. Does he start in the second game away at Arsenal when they've got the FA Cup on the weekend? Or does Nketiah start? I don't think Watkins starts both either, so neither are great, but it could be like they both start one each. I think I would rather Watkins and double Palace mid on a free hit and then Munoz. I think I like that combination a little bit more. Edst says second best City defender. Second best is Ruben. There's no one else. He should be safe for this double. Akanji is back in training, but he should be safe. There's no one else. Like, obviously, Nunes and Lewis are competing right back. Nunes is a mid anyway in FPL, so is O'Reilly. So that's the only choices. Vardy are obviously best. Butter Knight says, is captain a Salah over a double game week player a good idea? I feel he could smash it tomorrow. Yeah, if I was ranking double game week captains, I would say, let me know your 3 as well in order in chat. How would you rank the top 3 double game week captains? I would say Marmoush, Saka, and then I'd probably have Salah number 3. Would you guys agree with that, or would you go for a double game weeker regardless, like, I don't know, Eze or Rashford? No Villa players. I'm going to buy Rodgers Turbo. Saka, Salah, Marmoush. You got Marmoush number 3. FPL No Lifer agrees. Love the name, FPL No Lifer. You're in good company with some other FPL No Lifers here. Certainly myself, anyway. Why Marmoush over Saka captain? He just feels more trustworthy for minutes to me. Like, does Saka definitely start both games? It's not guaranteed for Marmoush, but I feel like it's likelier. Yeah, I don't hate it, but I'd say he's third best captain if I was going to rank them. But like, he's got Leicester. He could absolutely smash it. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he outscores most double game players. Wouldn't surprise me if he outscores all of them, to be honest. Like, it's such a great fixture. Luke Skywalker says, I'm on a free hit. Should I use KDB as my 5th mid? Or should I keep Bowen? Or should I add a third attacker in Watkins instead? I think what I would do, personally, if I was free hitting, is I would wait till near the deadline and see if we get some leaks on like KDB. If he starts, I'd pick him. If there's no news, I would go pretty boring and just go double city defence and Marmoush. So I'd go Vardiol, Ruben and Marmoush. And then, yeah, Bowen. I mean, you could have... So I'd have Eze, Saka, Sarr, Salah. Yeah, the 5th one, I guess it would be Bowen. Is there anyone else I'm forgetting? Or maybe Rodgers. Rodgers versus Bowen's tricky. But yeah, I don't mind the Bowen pick, actually, yeah. It is boring, but I'd honestly rather that. Same with Arsenal. I would rather have Raya, Saliba, Saka than, you know, like Saliba, Martinelli, Saka or something like that. But yeah, if there's a leak about KDB starting, then I'd go KDB. We'll have to see if we get something near the deadline. Get Saka out, G. He isn't playing. I'm not selling him now. I've bought him. Kano, thanks for the 13 months. Says, I rushed Savinho to KDB. I can't afford Saka, so it's Marino. Hopefully that doesn't end up costly. You know what? I was looking at it, Kano, and I think I might actually end up selling Saka for Mbumo in Gameweek 35. Because Arsenal have got the Champions League, haven't they? Either side of Gameweek 35. And Mbumo's got Man United, who Amorim just said are going to prioritise Europa League and play the kids in the Prem. So I'm free hitting in 34, which means I'm going to have Saka potentially for 1 week. So yeah, it's just this week you're missing out on, I think, for a lot of managers. Myself anyway. Adam, thanks for becoming a member as well. Thanks very much, Adam Palmer. Appreciate your support, mate. Clean sheet odds. Let me find them. Sorry, got stuck. So this week, these are the combined odds. So Arsenal 68% of keeping at least one. Man City 49%, Liverpool 46%, West Ham 40%, Palace 35%, Villa 33%. So yeah, the 4 teams double have got combined odds. Total goals, Arsenal top 4.1, Man City 3.75, and then it's Villa, Liverpool, Palace and West Ham. Would you pick Bowen or Rashford? Yeah, I think if I was... Oh my god, Luke's just gifted 20 memberships. Oh my god, Luke. Thank you so much. That's insane. You know what's really weird? I was just thinking before I was going live that I don't have a way to like properly... I've got the confetti, but I was thinking I need to add something like even better than the confetti when that happens. Luke, thank you so much. That is crazy. Welcome to the 20 new members. There's too many names, but welcome to all of you. Ruben got one, Sandor, Haruki got one. Connor says, yes, Focal lad. How are we doing, Connor? Welcome to new members. And welcome, use the new emojis as well if you remember now. There's some banging Focal emojis there. I keep forgetting to recommend them. Thanks so much, Luke. Did he say something? I might have missed his message. Oh, Control F doesn't work because I've got 20. I've got 20 things that say username was gifted. Massive dub, Luke. Luke is crazy. Thank you, Luke. It's very generous. You didn't have to do that. Appreciate the support. Welcome to the 20 new members. Oh, by the way, if you have, as I say, if you've got Discord, if you link your YouTube channel in settings, you'll automatically get access to the members channel. Marcus says, I'm on my knees begging for you to check the latest post in the lounge on Discord. Oh god, here we go. That's the channel actually I was talking about, the members channel, and help me with my team this week. I could benefit others with low team value. Alright, let's have a look. I'll do this as a one-off for Marcus. What's he said? What do you do in my situation? He's on a bench boost. Can I just open this in browser? Does that work? Copy link. Let's try that. Oh, that worked. Alright, we'll do it as a one-off. Let's do it. What's his team looking like? So what was the question? You're a bench boost this week. Free hit next. So 0.2 in the bank. Yeah, so and you're on triple Arsenal. So Gabriel to Kivior. Murphy to Rogers, and then maybe roll the third. Livramento to Conser works as well, but that's triple Villa. Yeah, I would consider that. Gabriel to Kivior, Murphy to Rogers, Livramento to Conser. Don't think there's anything else. It looks too difficult to get to Saka there, so I wouldn't bother. I'd just skip Saka. Because otherwise you're going to have to sell, I don't know, Savinho or Salah or something, which I don't know if that's worth it. Kivior or Timber, I can't afford Saliba. I actually think Kivior's likely to play both, so I'd say Kivior. Wouldn't surprise me if White starts one in right back. Is the Merino pick too risky? It's too risky for my liking. Yeah, so which chip have you got active? 76% bench boost. 6% free hit, 7% triple captain, 12% assistant manager. Damn. Alright, I'll stick another poll up. Yeah, I think that's right. How many chips will we have left after this game week? So after this one passes, so if you've got a chip active now, then count that out. Good afternoon, Oscar. Wishing you a good game week. Love you. Thanks very much, Senior Lump, as always. Lewis Pierce says Semenyo or Murphy to Rogers. Bench boost 33. 3 hit 34. I would say Murphy, Lewis. The reason being, there's a chance that Bournemouth double in 36. These are the updated numbers from Ben Crellin. He posted these last night. And he's got a little double game week percentage there against some teams. So Aston Villa and Tottenham, 59% chance of doubling in 36. They're the likeliest. And then it's Man City and Bournemouth, 43%. So, yeah, I'd actually think Murphy. And then obviously you can have him back if you'd like. Home to Ipswich on free hit 34. So yeah, those are the estimated double game week percentage likelihoods from Ben Crellin. So yeah, the likeliest 4 teams are Villa, City, Spurs and Bournemouth. There's a smaller chance Palace, Wolves, Forest and West Ham could. No worries, Lewis. Yo, Oscar, it's been a pleasure. Good night, buddy. Good night, RJO. Thanks for swinging by. Is it bad to have triple Newcastle this week on the bench boost? I have a free transfer, but basically nothing on the bench. You've got Tino Murphy and Isaac help. No, I think it's alright. I think it's okay. This season it's been hard to get a really strong bench boost. Like last week there was a lot of low scoring bench boosts, and I think if you've got triple Newcastle, the form they're in right now, I think it's fine. I'll have double on my bench. So I hope it's fine anyway, because yeah, I'm going to be bench boosting Isaac and Burn. Any news for KDB? No news. I mean, he's in training. Waiting for those KDB leagues. Yeah, hopefully we get something near the deadline. Is Plan FPL not working? I don't know. Is it down? I can message him. It's working for me. Looks alright to me. We've got, 1,800 tuned in right now. Thank you all for being here. Hit subscribe if you are new around here, if you're enjoying the stream, and drop a like. Hi mate, pick one, KDB, Marino, Trossard. Well, between those three, I'd say KDB. But it depends on what future transfers you're saying it blocks. News on Edison. Edison's out for Everton. It could be out longer. You're tempted to offload Mateta. Who for? I don't know who's Mateta worth selling for besides Marmoush? Surely no one. Stevie Boy says Foden out for -4. If so, who are the best options? For a -4, I wouldn't do it unless there's a leak that he's not in the squad or he's benched. And best options, I mean, there's quite a lot this week, obviously, because of the doublers. And I'd prioritise doublers, like, obviously, Saka, if you can get to him. Sarr, Eze, Rodgers, Rashford are all great. Depending on if you've got room for any of those. Or if you're already, like, loaded up on double Gameweek teams, then I guess I'd go KDB if there's a leak he starts, yeah. But really, any of those are great this week. It just depends on what you've got room for. Like, if you can afford KDB, Saka, etc. I mean, I was saying earlier, my top 3 captains are Marmoush, Saka, and then Salah. So, like, Saka's the second best player this week, in my opinion. Jay goes, thanks for the 17 months. Says, are we going to win the Champions League? Yes or no? Yes. No, I don't know. I hope we do. I hope we do. Touch wood. Get the statue built if he does it for Arteta. But I don't know. PSG look incredible, don't they? I mean, I took encouragement, though, from Villa giving them a really good game in that second leg. Who do you guys think wins the Champions League? So who is it? Barca, Inter, Arsenal and PSG. That's it. Touch wood. I barely know him. I don't know. I think Arsenal are favourites, aren't they? According to the bookies, anyway. But Barca for sure. PSG. Or are Barca favourites? Not sure. PSG or Inter? Barca. Unfortunately, you Gooners are going to win it. Oh, I hope so. I'll be absolutely ecstatic. I'm an Arsenal fan, Desi. You're praying for Arsenal. You reckon Inter? God, they're playing some great football this season, though, Inter. They really are. Arsenal versus Barcelona final redemption arc. Oh my God, imagine. That would be the perfect redemption arc after that Van Persie moment. Where are you from? I'm from England. I live just outside London. YS says Murphy and Isak to Savinho and Watkins -4. Oh, for a -4. I'm not a massive fan of Isak to Watkins, if I'm honest. I just don't see him starting both games. And I don't mind taking Isak for the run-in either. Like, it's got Brighton in 35. Obviously, 34 depends on if you're free hitting or not. I wouldn't want to sell him if you're not free hitting either. No, I wouldn't do it. I'd rather just do... I'd rather like Rodgers or a Rashford over Savinho. Even though Rashford's not nailed either. I just prefer him to Savinho. And Emery did say he's #1 on pens now, Rashford. So there is that. JH says bench boost now, and Raya, Munoz, Vardy, Saliba, Sarr, Rodgers, Saka, Salah, Mateta, Isak, Marmoush, Ariel and Murphy, Bernard, Concert, triple captain later and when, or triple captain now. I've got the free hit also. No, I think you got it right. Bench boost that. That's a really nice bench boost squad, and triple captain in 36 on whoever doubles them. So these were the odds from Ben Crellin. His percentage likelihood. So Villa and Tottenham are the two most likely, but Man City and Bournemouth have got a good chance. I would rather bench boost that. You won't get a better week to bench boost, basically. I mean, you won't get a better week to triple captain, but I just think when you've got 4 players lined up nicely for your bench, it just makes sense to prioritise that. Russell says, if I've got the wildcard left and a bench boost, would you get Van Dijk and Bowen instead of Saka and go Cunha Gameweek 34 and play 10 without keeper and wildcard 35 to get Saka? Hang on, and wildcard 35 or get Saka and wildcard 34? I've not really looked much at the comparison between the Gameweek 34 and 35 wildcard, but I know those that have looked at it are leaning towards wildcard 34, and they will have spent more time looking at it than me, obviously, which leads me to believe it's probably the strongest strategy. Get Van Dijk and Bowen instead of Saka. Yeah. Cunha 34. That seems better to me. And also you get the benefit of knowing what's happened in the FA Cup. So you can wildcard with the doubles in mind. So yeah, I would wildcard 35 rather than 34. Like heading into 35, there's a good chance we know exactly who doubles in 36. So that'll be a nice edge, because you can have the best possible doublers. Whereas the rest of us are kind of scrambling around like with free transfers. I'm only going to have one free transfer in 35 to try and get whoever I want for 36. So I can only spend one move or take a hit for two. So yeah, I'll stick with that. Chris says, thoughts on share to Ruben Diaz for -4. For a -4? I don't think I'd do it for a hit. Probably not for a hit. Villa are still winning the Champions League. Yeah, I don't think I'd do that, Chris. Not for a -4. If Ruben Diaz was nailed for the rest of the season, I'd do it, but I don't think he is, because Akanji's back in training. The others may or may not be. Ake Stones around the Dublin 36 if it happens. Yeah, I don't think I'd do that for a hit. Mr. F says, hey Oscar, I'm using the bench boost and I want to bring in Bowen for Murphy. I have no free hit. If I roll the transfer, I need a -4 for 11 players in 34. If I make the transfer, I need a -8 for 11 in 34. No, I probably wouldn't do it though, because Murphy's got Ipswich home in 34. I just don't see the need to do that. Like, you're going to get a better fixture this week with Bowen, but then you're going to lose a better fixture for Murphy next week, if you see what I'm saying. And you're booking in an extra -4. No, I'm not a massive fan of that. I wouldn't do that. Bench Murphy or Trossard. Well, you got to start Trossard if you got him. It's not impossible for him to start both games. You got to start him though if you've got him, since he doubles. So how many chips are you going to have left after this week? 12% none. That's it, they're done. 59% 1, 24% 2, and 5% 3. Bertman says 3 free transfers, Foden to Saka. If I also do Saliba to Kiwior. 3 free transfers. Let me just scroll back up. I've lost your message. So you can do Foden to Saka if you... I think you need to have a look if you might end up selling Saka in 35. Because is it worth spending 2 transfers to when, especially selling Saliba? I'd probably do it for free, yeah, and just keep the 3rd transfer if you can. Yeah, I would do it. Stuart reckons Saka is too risky. Yeah, let's actually see what people are saying for captaincy, because the thing is, he does have a better double game week, and if he starts both, he is better than Marmoush, but in my opinion. But does he start both? So who is your captain? Saka, Marmoush. We'll go Salah and other. So let us know your other if that's what you voted. Blue Boy says 2 free transfers, bench boost. Thoughts on Gabriel and Semenyo to Saliba and Marlon? Marlon, not a massive fan of Marlon. Not sure if he starts both, does he? Like, it just seemed a certainty that he'd start against Southampton last game week, and he didn't, did he? So, no, I wouldn't do that. I'd go somewhere else. How much is Marlon? Can you not afford like Rodgers or Rashford? Or just go down to Kivior? Where is he? 5.3. Can you not afford Rodgers or Rashford? I'd even rather Tielemans, I think, than Marlon. Or if not, you could go down to Kivior. Cheaper alternative to Saliba. Should start both in a double, and then you've got more money to play around with. Something to look at if you guys aren't tripled up on Arsenal and you've got room for a defender and you can't afford Saliba or something like that, then Kivior. Martin says Gabriel to Saliba and Foden to Saka for 9 doublers this week. You're free hitting in 34, and you're going to sort out 36 later with probable hits. Or Gabriel to 8 Nori, Foden to Bowen for 9 players in 34, and then free hit 36. Now, I think based on those estimated odds from Ben, it's going to be 2 or 4 teams doubling, and I think you're better off. I think you're better off making the first combination of moves. Buying Saliba, you're buying Saka for a nice double. And yeah, free hit 34. I just think it's a better strategy. If we had a provisional announcement on who doubles in 36, and it looked like 36 was going to be really strong for a free hit, then I'd rethink it, but we just don't know. We don't have that information. There was no provisional announcement. So like some games could just move to the midweek in 37 and it remains a single game week. That's the caveat. They'll either move forward a few days, single game week 37, it stays there, or it moves back a few days and then it becomes a double in 36. It could go either way. Mihaly says, hey Oscar, which do you prefer, Murphy and Byrne to Saka and a 4.1 mil defender, or Kivior and Mbumo with 5.1 mil in the bank and you have Raya, Saliba and plan to bench boost? I think the second combination's better. By a mile, I would say. I mean, which 4.1 mil defender is there to bench boost? I mean, Cresswell's not been getting starts. He would have been nice, but is there anyone? Like Agbadou when he's got Man United, maybe? I think the second combination's better, to be honest. I'm probably going to end up buying Mbumo for Saka in 35. Anurag says, hi Oscar, I'm sure this has been asked and sorry for repeating. I'm on a bench boost this week and I might free hit next week. Who's the best Foden replacement? And your midfield is Salah, Sarr, Murphy, Semenyo, Foden. So if you're not tripled up on Palace, then you could go Eze. If you've got room for Villa, then there's Rodgers. I'm going to buy Rodgers myself. I like him most out of all the Villa mids. So this will be my team after my transfers. I mean, if there's a leak like Foden bench, KDB starts, then you could go Foden to KDB. Oh, you got nothing in the bank? No, ignore that. I would say if you're not tripled up on Palace, then Eze. Otherwise, Rodgers. Or if you're tripled up on Villa as well, then Mbumo would be next best, and then Bowen, I would say. Glasner or Arteta assistant manager? I would go Arteta, personally. Joshua says, thoughts on KDB captain as a differential? Nah, I mean, it's too risky like that. Does he definitely start both games? I'd honestly be surprised. He might, and then he might just miss the FA Cup on the weekend. That's possible. He doesn't start all the next 3, if you ask me. So that puts me off him as a captain. Chris says, would you take a -4 for anyone? You have Saka, etc. Nah, not really, unless you've got someone that's injured or out. Otherwise, no. I don't think it's worth a hit this week, Chris. Yeah, I think I'd just leave sharing. Unless you're not on triple Arsenal, then you go Kivior or Saliba. I've lost where I was in chat now. Mike says, bench boost Ortega, Gordon, Liver and Kirkes from -4. Nah, I'd Probably not. It's a -4 first of all, and also secondly, Gordon probably won't start given how good Barnes been the last couple of games. Nah, I don't think I'll do that, Mike. Gordon was first choice, yeah, but right now you'd expect Barnes to start again, wouldn't you? I mean, he got like 27 points in the last game week. Crazy. Vaz says Murphy to Kovacic. Nah, surely not Kovacic. You'll be really lucky to get an attacking return out of him over the 2 games, I think. I would just keep Murphy or go like Rodgers or something like that. Sticky Bandit says, should I swap Kuzanov to Diaz from -4? Yeah, I probably would. I'd be really surprised if Kuzanov starts both, given he's out of favour now. Wazza says, I can't go for Saka without taking a hit. Anyone else from Arsenal to take the hit? What are you asking? Anyone from Arsenal worth buying for a hit? Depends who you're selling, but like Raya, Saliba are good. Don't think there's any Arsenal mids that I'd gamble a hit on, personally. Like if they started both, Martinelli would be great, like Marino would be great, but it just feels a bit up in the air whether they do. Like, does Trossard start one game in left wing? Martinelli misses out one. Even like, does Waneri start one game in right wing or not? So that puts me off even captaining Saka, but I don't hate the Saka captaincy. Mike says, hi Oscar, 1 free transfer. Isak to Watkins, give me 12 doublers. Wan-Bissaka to Bradley or roll. Bench boost active. I'm not a massive fan of Isak to Watkins. Like originally, I'd planned to do that this week, but I just didn't anticipate Watkins being out of favour the way he is. And Emery's been saying, I'd love to use them both, but it has to be one or the other right now. There's not enough time to find a way to make it work tactically. So it just massively puts me off Watkins right now. Especially given how good Isak is, his nailedness, he's on pens, Watkins isn't. No, I probably wouldn't do it. Even Wan-Bissaka to Bradley, I probably wouldn't do it. If we can afford Kanate, I'd do that. The problem with Bradley now is Trent's back in training, so you might only get 2 games out of Bradley, if I'm honest. I'm sorry to say for Bradley owners, but you might only get 33 and 34. Maybe that's all you need for your team. But it could be a problem later. Like imagine 4 teams doubling 36 and blanking 37. We're going to have loads of players blanking in 37. So I just think you might as well just avoid the risk of Bradley being a massive headache later when you need everyone available, if that makes sense. Dimitri says, my rank, thanks for the super chat, Dimitri. My rank is around 1 million and I have nothing to lose, he says. What would be the move for captaincy? Marino, Saka, Trossard. I'll have to transfer one of them instead of Palmer. Anyone else for those chase him? I do think this week Marmoush and Saka are well ahead as the best 2. I mean, Salah could be the chase and move. I feel like people are sleeping on Salah. He'll be around 100% EO, I reckon. Maybe lower at some ranks. What's the captain widget saying? Let's have a look. Let me refresh it. Saka 5 stars, Marmoush 5 stars, KDB 2, Marino 2, Raya 1. No one's going Raya captain, are they? I would say Saka, Dimitri, if you're chasing. I think he'll be less popular than Marmoush. I think with Salah, maybe they'll be similar. It's hard to guess the effective ownership of Saka, Marmoush and Salah. But basically what I'm trying to think is which one's got the highest upside for you. Saka's probably the highest upside captain this week out of those 3. If anyone wants to install this, by the way, FPL Focal in the App Store. Who went up last night? Saliba went up, Marmoush went up, 8 Nori. Anyone get 3 out of 3 risers? Foden went down, and Boomer went down yesterday. Crazy. Pavli says start Isak or Savinho and why? I would start Savinho. He was meant to start reportedly last game week, and it was a last minute decision, so he must have been really close to being full fitness, because he still came on. So I just feel like there's a chance he starts this game, and he could start again midweek. So I'd say Savinho over Isak for the double. That's what I would do. I mean, is anyone benching Isak this week in chat? Let us know. Delia says, anyone else on Salah captaincy? I think a lot of people will be. Like, at the end of the day, it is a double game week, but Salah's also on by far the most points in FPL history, with like 6 games to go. Or 5. 6? 6. Leslie, thanks for these 6 months. Says bench boost and free hit 34. Savinho or Murphy to Rodgers. Sell both. No, I'd keep Savinho. I'd just do Murphy to Rodgers. Bench boost that. Yeah, and free hit 34. Looks good, Leslie. Thanks again for the 6 months. Best non-double game week defender to replace Burn? Asked Jan. Non-double game week defender. Oh, it's really limited options, isn't it? You can't afford Bradley, but he might be a problem, as I was saying. And then there's Wan-Bissaka, who I've got, but now he's flagged. So then it's like Kilman. He's got good clean sheet odds, home to Southampton, but he's such a low ceiling pick. It's going to be 2 or 6 points, most likely. Who else is there? Is anyone I'm forgetting? Non-double game week defender. Nico Williams, but he's got Spurs. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Probably Kilman. Oh, such a dead pick. I think I'd go Nico. I think I would go Nico because he's better for the run-in. The problem with buying Kilman is it's literally this week, and you're not going to want to use him. But Nico could come in handy longer term, and you might get more points longer term. Yeah, Kieran agrees. Samir says Livramento to Wan-Bissaka for a -4 bench boost is on. Nah, definitely not for a -4. I wouldn't even do it for free, I don't think, because Wan-Bissaka's flagged now. Like, I really hope you want the clean sheet odds. I really hope that he plays. Potter said he's had an injection in his toe and he should be fine. Bertman says if he bench boosts, then formation and start 11 irrelevant. Hang on, if you bench boost, then the formation and start 11 is irrelevant. Yeah, it's irrelevant, Bertman. All that matters is your captain and vice. But what you should really do, if you want to be honest with yourself, is put the players that you would have benched on your bench. Like, you know, I could do this, but then it's not an honest bench boost, is it? Like, if I do that, like, that's not what my bench would have been. Like, if I do that, it's like, oh yeah, I've smashed it on the bench boost. Like, I've absolutely smashed the bench boost this week. But in reality, that's not an honest bench. So, anyway, it's a small pet peeve of mine. I've seen it on my Twitter and Blue Sky timeline a lot, where the bench is absolutely stacked, but then they're starting players like with awful fixtures with a single game week. If you know what I'm saying. Anyone else notice that, or is it just me? Steve says Wan-Bissaka to Saliba for a hit. Yeah, I'd do that for a hit, Steve. That's worth it. I like that. Potential for that to be repaid. Maybe even this week. Definitely in the running. Pianchi says best game week to use my remaining chips. You've got the assistant manager, free hit, and wildcard. So I would free hit in 34 next week. I would wildcard 35. And then you're going to have to use his assistant manager in 36. Yeah, that would be it. So, no chip this week. I mean, unless you've got a really good team for 34. But I think you might be better off free hit in 34. Free hit 34, wildcard 35, assistant manager 36 for the run-in. Kieran, thanks for becoming a member. Thanks very much, Kieran, for the support. Appreciate you, mate. Freak Van der Gulik says bench boost with Pope, Milenkovic, Murphy, and Cucurella. Cucurella. Have they got Chelsea away? What's Chelsea's fixed? Chelsea away. Fulham away. Is that right? Fulham away. Yeah. Pope, Milenkovic, Murphy and Kukurea. It's not a great bench. But it's yeah, really what it comes down to is if you'll have a stronger bench later on. And it's hard to think about what your bench will look like in future weeks. You're going to have to just look at your team and how it might look. Like, you're not going to use it in 34. 35, Pope and Murphy have got Brighton, but maybe you would have been starting them anyway. I'd be tempted to just use it, but you'll have to just check, honestly, if there's going to be a future week where your bench is stronger. If there's not, just use it now. Get it out of the way. Axel says, how do I navigate an assistant manager until 34, i.e. this week and next? Bench boost and free hit remaining. Current team only has 6 active players next week. Oh, so your assistant manager is going to take you through to 34, right? Well, I wouldn't spend any transfers if you've got any left on players that blank next week. Yeah, you can only use 1 chip at a time, so next week you're going to be stuck with assistant manager still. You're going to have to just take a hit or two next week. It's the only solution. And yeah, just try and work out when you'll have the best bench to use the bench boost. And I'd probably free hit 36 because that'd be a double. But it's hard to say. It's too early to say because we don't know the doubles. But if you've got the option to buy a manager, if you've got the option to buy Arteta, I'd consider it. But would I sell someone like Glasner if I'm going to have 6 players in 34? Maybe not. Yeah, you're in a bit of a difficult spot there. I would just leave the manager you've got. Whoever it is, I would just leave them. Because you're going to have to just take a couple of hits next week. Otherwise, yeah, it's going to cost you too many hits to sell a manager. RB says Bruno Guimaraes to Rodgers, Evan Nilsson to João Pedro. I'll do the first move, not the second one. I'm not a fan of selling Evan Nilsson. Like, he's been playing fine. He's got a good chance of doubling in 36. Keep Evan Nilsson, but do the Rodgers move. Should I start Isak over Savinho? Asked Joe. No, I'd start Savinho between the two. Rashford or Savinho? I'd say Rashford. FPL1 says, hi Oscar, Bernard Murphy out for Konate and Savinho. Or Kuzanov and Rashford. Thanks and good luck, everyone. So was it Bernard Murphy, Konate, Savinho, Kuzanov and Rashford? Now, the first combination's better. If you haven't got Rodgers, I think Konate and Rodgers is even better. I think Rodgers is a better pick than Savinho this week. Because at least we can expect him to start both games, right? Regan says, on the bench boost, Murphy and Isak to Mbeumo and Wood / Wissa. Is that a good one? Murphy and Isak to Mbeumo and Wood / Wissa. I don't hate it, but you're selling 2 single Gameweek players for 2 others. So it doesn't need to happen this week. Not so sure it does, given the form of Newcastle and obviously Isak and Murphy scoring last week. I don't think I would do that, Regan. I feel like those are great moves in 35. I don't hate it, but I think to spend 2 transfers where on paper that doesn't look like an upgrade, maybe a small upgrade. But if I'm spending 2 moves, I want it to be like a decent upgrade. And selling Isak to Wood or Wissa, I don't know. This feels like that could go the wrong way. And Murphy as well, like, it's just in crazy form right now. I do really like Mbeumo and Wissa though, and I'm probably going to buy Mbeumo in 35. You need Man City team news this week. I think we all do, yeah. I'll keep an eye out when we near the deadline. We've got, what, an hour and a bit? 2,100 tuned in. Thank you all for being here. Hit subscribe if you are not subscribed already. Keep the questions coming. Captain KDB. No, I wouldn't captain KDB. I think Marmoush, Saka, Salah are the top 3. Transfer Salah to Saka. No, I don't think I'd do that. I wouldn't do that. The problem with Saka is, first of all, he's not 100% to start both games. But secondly, let's be honest, the league is gone. Liverpool, I think they could even win it this weekend. So the priority is Champions League. So in Game Week 35, does Saka even start there when it's PSG either side of Bournemouth home? I'm not actually that confident he does. I don't think that's a bold take. Oscar, you're the best. Thanks very much, Regan. Appreciate that. Rodgers versus Rashford. I would go Rodgers, just about. I don't mind the Rashford pick, but it could be like Watkins starts one game, Rashford the other. I mean, you could go Oscarino. You could go Watkins and Rashford, and then you've got like a guaranteed start in both games at least, I suppose. Bradley, thanks for the 3 months. Says thoughts on TF in Marmoush. Hang on, transfer in Marmoush and triple captain him. No free hit left. Yeah, I think he's the best triple captain option for the rest of the season. The only scenario where they'll be better is if Haaland is out until Game Week 38 and Man City double in 36, but that's leaving quite a bit up to chance because Haaland could be back around them and he might not double in 36. So yeah, I would buy Marmoush 100% and I'd triple captain him. Abdul Jalil, thanks very much for becoming a member as well. Thank you everyone for the support. Force an Eze to Rodgers. No, I wouldn't do that. Keep Eze. Oh, Eze. That penalty last game, was so frustrating. He's the one that like the least people have gone for out of Palace. Like most people are on Mateta, Sarr, Munoz. And I went Eze over Munoz, and he just puts that penalty straight at Pope. I couldn't believe it. He was trying to do that thing that footballers do nowadays, where you wait for the keeper to go first, and Pope just didn't go. He just didn't go, and it just like threw Eze off. So it was a great save as well, weirdly, even though it looked like a terrible pen. Digne to Consa worth it? It seems like a waste of a transfer. Eze or Bowen? Eze. Thoughts on Trossard captain? Nah, not for me. So who's your captain? 62% Marmoush, 29% Saka, 5% Salah, 4% other. Interesting. Right. Who's going to be the top scorer this game week? Guesses in the chat. It was Harvey Barnes, 27 points last game week. Bro, did you wildcard? No, I didn't wildcard, no. I've made one transfer, Starboy, which was Palmer to Saka. And I'll do my other transfer in a bit. Marino, Salah. If it's Marino, honestly, after I've told people I wouldn't buy him. Trossard as well. If it's Trossard, after I said I wouldn't buy him, wouldn't captain him. Saka, De Bruyne, Isak, Sarr. I hope it's Sarr. Marmoush, Saka. Pinners Rex says triple captain Saka or Marmoush, or Palmer and Murphy to KDB and Erdegaard. I would triple captain Marmoush, Pinners, if you still got it, yeah. Feels like the best opportunity to go. I mean, Saka's even better if he definitely starts both, but that's the risk. I guess you could take the risk on if you're chasing. But I think in isolation, Marmoush just gets the edge for me. Maguire. Odds on you naming your firstborn Focal. Could do. I'll have to stick a poll on one of my live streams. I'll probably have the kid taken away from me if I do that. If I let a YouTube poll decide his name or her name. Salah? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it's Salah. I missed your super chat. There isn't one here with your name on it. Maybe YouTube removed it because of your username, but there's definitely not one there. Yeah, I would triple captain Marmoush, Pinners. I'm not a massive fan of buying KDB and Erdegaard either. Andre Dan says Murphy and Diaz or Wan-Bissaka and Savinho. If I knew Wan-Bissaka starts, or if he wasn't a doubt, I should say, then even then I would say the second one. But without knowing that, I think the first one's slightly better, Andre. Murphy and Diaz, I would say, yeah. What's the deal with Wan-Bissaka? He had an injection on his toe, Potter says. And he said he should be okay for the game. But it is Southampton home, which does worry me. Honestly, it'd be so annoying if this is the game Soufal comes in at right back when Wan-Bissaka's started 30 straight games. So we'll see. It's just not worth me spending a transfer on him. It's not worth it. Even if he's confirmed out, I think I'll just bench boost 3 players. As annoying as that is. Pookie Pook says, I had Asensio and Eze in my team last week. 3 penalty misses. That is brutal in one game week. Yeah, I really sympathise with Asensio owners because it looked like that second one was the redemption penalty. I mean, he got the assist at least. It could have been worse. It's mad, isn't it? You get an assist for missing a penalty if someone follows it straight up. Oh, maybe this is frozen. Maybe I did miss a super chat. Let me reload this, sorry. Come on. Oh, he's struggling. Bear with me. One sec, Koreshi. I want to just close this. That's frozen. Uh-oh. Yeah, my chat froze. I didn't realise there was super chats. Sorry about that. Right, almost sorted. 2 secs. And we're back. Yeah, that person that said they did one didn't. Unless YouTube removed it. Where did I get to? Oh my god, alright. Koreshi says, Murphy to Rogers given Murphy's form and Rogers' fixtures. Yeah, I'm doing that exact move, Koreshi. I know like Murphy's banging form. And it's difficult if you're not free hitting 34. Like obviously if it's going to leave you short of 11, then I probably wouldn't do it. Because you gain a fixture of Rogers now, lose one next week. But in my case, I'm free hitting 34, so I'll probably just get Murphy back. So yeah, my last transfer will be Murphy to Rogers before the deadline. So that'll be my team after I lock it in. Just going to wait till near the deadline as always, just in case there's last minute news or anything that could change my plan. Alpine says, hey, Glasner and Saka or Arteta and De Bruyne? It's really close, this one. Probably Arteta and De Bruyne. But I'd make the move near the deadline just in case there's news like De Bruyne doesn't start or something like that. In which case I'll go for the first combo. Janega says, is it worth to sell Sarr for Rashford on a free hit? XGI per mins. Sarr to Rashford? Probably not. I think I'd have Sarr. If I was on a free hit, I think my midfield would be Saka, Salah, Eze, Sarr, Rogers. Maybe the same midfield I've got now. I don't think I'd have a City mid in there. And I don't know if I'd have Rashford over Rogers. I guess on a free hit, you just take the chance of Rashford, don't you? Because he's on pens. But I'm not sure he starts both games, Rashford. But he is on pens, so I suppose... yeah, on a free hit, I'll go Saka, Eze, Salah, Rashford and Sarr. Says, good game week for assistant manager, if not when. Yeah, well, problem is it lasts for 3 weeks. So if you use it now, you can't free hit in Game Week 34. Sorry, let me just sort out my chat windows here. If you use the assistant manager now, it lasts for 3 weeks, so you can't use it. You can't use a free hit in 34. So you're gonna have to double check how many players you've got in 34. Like if it's gonna leave you well short of 11, then save it for Game Week 35 or 36 and just use it for the run-in. That's what a lot of managers are doing. They're just saving the assistant manager for the run-in, which also has its appeal. Like if you're chasing, then you could just go super aggressive with the table bonus. Faye says, should I get Watkins instead of Isak? I'm chasing. Yeah, if you're chasing, I don't hate it. I think it's okay if you're chasing, as long as you're on free hit 34. Otherwise, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, if you're chasing, like, fair enough. I was chatting to my brother about it, and he's chasing, and he's going Isak to Watkins. And I get it if you're chasing, yeah, because of Isak's ownership. $200k, says Sally. Nothing to lose. Saka and Rashford or KDB and Marino. You have Rodgers. I think Saka and Rashford's way better, Sally. 200k is decent. Top 100k finish is absolutely on. Like, you could get there in a couple of good weeks. How's everyone doing rank-wise? Where are you at right now in the rankings? Ben Foster, thanks for the super chat as well about the message. Thank you very much, Ben. Joe D says, start Mbumo or Waneri. I'd start Mbumo. I know Waneri's got a double, but I'd much rather start Mbumo. Alex says, bench boost active and 2 free transfers, Burn and Murphy to Kivior and O'Reilly. I don't like the O'Reilly pick at all. He's playing reverse out of position. Out of position, not in a good way. Midfielder playing in defence. Nah, I wouldn't do that. I'd rather go for Rodgers if you don't have him. If not, just keep Murphy. It's a waste of a transfer. 11k, 40k, 4k, very nice. You're 81st in the Members League, nice. 812k, 88k. 2 mil season over, 1 mil, 180k. Goran says 220k chasing mini league. KDB or Saka capped him. I'd say Saka, Goran. Just think he's a better pick. Even if they both get 1.5 games each, Saka's got a better double. Akame, thanks for the super chat as well. Thanks very much for that, about the message. Guy says for Bruggen to Areola, 2 free transfers on a bench boost. So you can't afford any doubling keepers, I'm guessing, like Martinez. Would I buy Areola to bench boost him? I don't know if that's worth a free transfer. Who have Brighton got? Brentford away. I don't know if that's worth a transfer, if I'm honest. I just think, realistically, if you're lucky, Areola keeps a clean sheet, 6 points. And Verbruggen concedes, gets 2 points. Best case scenario, you've spent a transfer to gain 4 points. I think I wouldn't do it, actually. As mad as that sounds, I actually think I wouldn't. Because I just think transfers are going to be really valuable for the run-in. Like, coming out of the blank in 34. And obviously we don't know who's going to double in 36 yet. But we've just got, you know, percentage probabilities from Ben Crellin. I think the transfer will be more valuable later, potentially. Omar says, hi Oscar, 2 free transfers, free hit 34. 0.2 million off Murphy to Rodgers, 9 doublers in the starting 11. The bench is Areola, Nico, Murphy and Burn. Is it worth holding the bench boost to Game Week 35 instead with 3 free transfers? Benches, Areola, Nico, Murphy and Burn. No, I would get out of the way, Mo. It's not that bad a bench. I know it's not the best, but I think I would get that out of the way. Like, you could end up in a situation where your bench ends up weaker, or you've got problems to deal with, injuries. Just take what's in front of you, bench boost that, get it out of the way. Rakagumi, thanks for 31 months. Says, on a bench boost, do I keep or sell Wan-Bissaka from -4 for who? No, I'm keeping Rakagumi. Even if he's confirmed out, I actually think I'm just going to leave it. Which kind of like goes back to that point I was saying to Guy, who's thinking about buying Areola. I just don't think it's worth a -4 as well in my case. For free, I'd be tempted to go to like Konsa because he doubles. But I wouldn't go to like Kilman, for example, if I had a free transfer, which is the same thing I was saying before actually. About Areola. Like, I wouldn't spend a free transfer on Wan-Bissaka to Kilman if Wan-Bissaka's out. I'm just going to bench boost 3 players. Overrated chip, innit? Where did I get to? Chris says, bench boost Martinez, Isak, Murphy and Burn. Okay, free hit next week. If I make transfers after 33 deadline and then play the free hit, are the transfers saved for the free hit 2 transfers? Yeah, the transfers are saved. Why? What are you asking? Are you trying to like manipulate price changes? Oh, I see. So if you activate it straight away, yeah, your transfers carry over, Chris. So yeah, you'd have 2 transfers. No, you'd have 3. So you got 2 now, and then after the deadline passes, you've got 3, and then you free hit, and you'll have 3 coming out. I think that's right. Should I use the assistant manager? Asks Well, it depends how you're looking in Gameweek 34. That's what it comes down to. Because Gameweek 34 is a blank game week. So if you need to free hit, then don't use it, because the assistant manager lasts for 3 weeks. Whereas if your team doesn't need a chip in Gameweek 34, then yeah, I would consider using it now on Arteta. But I think the best thing you should do is save it. Basically, save it for Gameweek 35 or 36. Mark says, hi Focal and Focal is on bench boost 33 and free hit 34, and you're asking for goalkeeper advice. You've got Pope and Kepa +3 Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Newcastle at the moment. Is a -4 worth changing goalkeeper, and if so, to whom? Nah, not when you're tripled up on those already. Not worth it. Probably wouldn't even do it for free. Triple captain now? Yeah, I would do it now if I had it still on Marmoush or Saka. I've got mine active. Sorry, I've got my captain on Marmoush myself. Right, scout selection. Let us know how many of you got from the scout selection this week. They've gone Martinez, they've gone Saliba, they've gone Vardy or Munoz, Salah, De Bruyne, Bowen, Trossard, Rodgers, Mateta and Marmoush. They've gone Marmoush captain, Saliba vice. And they went Glasner AM. How many's everyone got? Bit of a weird selection this week. I'm not sure about Trossard. Not sure. Maybe I'd go De Bruyne and Bowen on a free hit. I mean, no Palace mids. You got 8, 7, 6, 5. What have I got? Martinez, Saliba, Vardy, Salah, Rodgers after I buy him, and Marmoush. 6 for me. Oh no, 7, Mateta. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Mohammed, thanks for the super chat. Message retracted. I didn't see what that said. Apologies, Mohammed. Connor says, do we know what Gameweek 36 double fixtures will look like? Well, we've got probabilities from Ben Crellin, which are there. So the likeliest doubles is Villa and Tottenham, Villa would have Bournemouth away, Spurs home, and Spurs would have Palace home, Villa away. Man City's would be Southampton home, Bournemouth away, and Bournemouth would be Villa home, Man City away. So obviously if Man City get that double, that'd be an insane double game week. The catch is Haaland could be back around then, so that might make captaincy tricky. But yeah, like if Haaland's still out then, and they get the double game week, then everyone's going to be on Marmish captain, aren't they? Here for FPL says Foden and Livramento to KDB and Bradley / Kanate versus Bowen and Diaz. So you've got Foden and Livramento, and you can go KDB and Kanate, or you can go Bowen and Diaz. Really close this one. If there's a leak that KDB starts, then I go for the first combination. And I would go Kanate over Bradley, just because Bradley might only play 2 games and then Trent's back. Bradley's going to be great for the next couple of games, but I just think long term he could be a problem. He could be a headache as soon as Trent's back. And Trent might even be in the squad this game week. So Bowen and Diaz versus KDB and Kanate. Yeah, I think KDB and Kanate gets the edge there. Darius says, hi Oscar, 2 free transfers, -4. So this is Savinho, Burn and Palmer to KDB, Rogers, Kiwior, or no hit, and you go Palmer and Savinho to Saka and Rogers. That seems better. Hang on, Palmer, Savinho, Saka, Rogers. Ah, but you can go Burn to Kiwior. I think the second one's better, just about, without the -4. Yeah. Like if you could afford Saka, Rogers and Kiwior, that'd be a winner, but I'm guessing you can't. So I'll just go Saka, Rogers, yeah, and avoid the -4. I mean, I'm bench boosting Burn, it is what it is. Bradley Hannah says, I don't know what to do this game week. No free hit. You got 2 free transfers. Your bench boost is for Bruggen, Dunk, Murphy and Livra, or transfer Marmoush and triple captain him. If the second one, I'll have 9 players and 2 free transfers and 34. Yeah, I'd buy Marmoush and triple captain Bradley. Timber for Kiwior -4. Nah, not for a -4. I wouldn't sell Timber for a hit. Yeah, I would triple captain Marmoush Bradley. I think it's just the best option we're going to have for the rest of the season. It's possible there will be better, but a few things need to line up nicely. So yeah, I would triple captain, yeah. FPL Machine says Palmer and Murphy to Saka and Rogers for those 2 to KDB and Marino. Hang on. Palmer and Murphy to Saka and Rogers, or those 2 to KDB and Marino. Yeah, I'd go Saka Rogers. It's the same 2 moves I'm making FPL Machine, so I would say that obviously because those are the 2 moves that I think are the best moves for those that have got those 2 players. So yeah, I've already done Palmer to Saka, and I'm going to do Murphy to Rogers. So this will be my squad of 15 after. But I've not locked it in yet. I'll make the Rogers transfer shortly before the deadline. When is the deadline? 1:30. Yeah. Here for FPL. Thanks for becoming a member. Thank you very much. Here for FPL. KDB for Eze. No, I wouldn't sell Eze. Victor, thanks for the 4 months. Hey Oscar, Konsa or Lewis? Thoughts? Tight on bank. No, I wouldn't go anywhere near Lewis, personally. I don't see him starting both games. Yeah, I just don't see it. Konsa, yeah, he should do. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. So go for Konsa. Lewis might get 1 game, but Konsa's should get both. Timber or Kiwior? If you can choose either, Amy, go Kiwior. Likely to start both. We should start both. Timber might do, but not guaranteed because White could play. No, I wouldn't do it for a -4. Esjispersky. I wouldn't sell Timber for a hit. You just got to stick it out with him. Sarr for Rodgers. I can't afford Murphy to Rodgers. Nah, Sarr's got a double. I wouldn't sell Sarr when he's got a double game week. Struggling with this game, says, hi Oscar, I'm priced out of Murphy to Rodgers, so what would you suggest? Isak and Murphy to Wood and Rodgers, or Isak, Savio and Murphy to KDB, Strand, Larson and Rodgers, or just play my free hit as it is. Are you not free hitting a 34 though? Are you not going to have less than 11 players if you free hit now? I don't mind Isak and Murphy to Wisser and Rodgers. I think I like Wisser more than Wood, if I'm honest. Oscar, work your magic and get some leaks on Foden or Kev, please. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out. If we get anything, it'll come near the deadline, but I will keep an eye out for sure. And if we get anything, I'll put it in the bottom left corner, in that little widget there that says who starts and who's benched from what we've had leaked. Yeah, if you really want to get Rodgers, then I'd go Wisser and Rodgers. I don't know, is that worth 2 transfers though? I don't think I'd spend 2 transfers on it to sell 2 informed players. Now I think about it. Isak, Savio and Murphy to KDB, Strand, Larson and Rodgers. Nah, not a fan of that either. I think I'd leave it, honestly. I don't think I'd spend a transfer. I'd just leave it. Nothing wrong with keeping Isak and Murphy. Do you think there's a chance Saliba's rested? It's not out of the question, I suppose. But he feels like the most nailed, doesn't he? In theory, he should be the most nailed, besides Raya. Savinio to Rashford if he's leaked to not start. Yeah, if there's a leak he doesn't start, then yeah, I'd consider moving on any of your Man City assets. If you've got one and there's a leak, they don't start. Do I sell Sarr or Eze for Bowen? No, I wouldn't do that, KB. Why would you sell a double game week player? I know it's not a great double, but I'd definitely keep Eze and Sarr this week. What do you think? Raya to Ortega and Burn to Kivior. Oh, it's one of those, Jan. Like, we don't know when Edison's back, and I don't hate it. I don't hate that at all for 2 free transfers, but I probably wouldn't do that. It's just, what if Edison's back after this game? It might not happen. And also, is it worth spending 2 transfers on it? Or could those transfers be more important later? How are we doing, Bobby? Right, so Hannibal said, why are you captaining Marmish versus Saka? Marmish tough fixtures, Saka will smack Palace. They could do, Hannibal, but does Saka definitely start both games? Is there an outside chance that Waneri starts one? Let's do a poll on it. Does Saka start both games? Wisdom of the crowd. It's just the minutes for me. That's what it comes down to. Like, Marmoush should be safe for 2 starts in theory, with no Haaland. He's in form. Like, what's that? 3 goals, 1 assist. He's blanked in one of his last 4 games. It just comes down to minutes for me. I'm just trying to favour players that are good for minutes all season long. It's my play style now, and Marmoush ticks that box. Saka just doesn't completely tick it. Just feels like there's a small chance Waneri could start one of the 2. But don't get me wrong, if Saka starts both, he's the best captain this week. But that's the if, and you have to just try and read the minutes, which isn't easy to do. Struggling with this game says, sorry mate, still sleepy. I meant bench boost this week. Oh, hang on, so let me go back up. Right, so yeah. Yeah, I'd probably leave it as it is. I still think I'd leave it. I just think Isak and Murphy, they're not bad to bench boost, are they? Like, they're in great form. I mean, arguably Newcastle are the most informed team right now. I just think it's not bad to bench boost them. Like, I'm more than happy to bench boost Isak. Villa away is not an easy fixture, obviously, but he's the best striker in the league this season, so I'm fine to bench boost Isak. Likewise, Murphy. So, 63% reckon Saka doesn't start both. 37% reckon he does. How many of those are Saka non-captainers saying he doesn't start both, though? That's the other question. And how many are honest opinions? Conser or Burn? Conser, Adam. Which other Arsenal defender to buy? The only two I'd buy is Saliba and Kivior. The rest are too risky to buy. Like, if you've got Timber, keep him, but I wouldn't be buying Timber, if that makes sense. Saka or KDB? I'd say Saka. Isak or Evan Nilsson on the bench? I'd bench Evan Nilsson. What do we think about Evan Asensio? Well, he's definitely off pens, isn't he? I wouldn't buy him. I'd keep him if I had him, but I wouldn't buy him. City leaks. I'll check. I'll check if we've had anything. I don't think we will have. No, nothing at the moment. I'll keep an eye on it as we near the deadline. If we get anything, I'll put it in the bottom left corner and let you guys know straight away. Who's the best triple captain? I think Marmoush and then Saka, I would say. Both are great. Saka's probably the more upside one. I feel like Marmoush is the template captain this week. I'm guessing he'll be the most captain player, or the highest effective ownership around my rank. I mean, Salah's the left field shout for captaincy. Captain De Bruyne? Nah, I wouldn't. Just don't like these chances of starting both games, personally. Same with Rashford. I think he's okay to buy, but I wouldn't be totally confident that he starts both games. It could be Rashford one game and Watkins the other one. You bought Lewis and I don't care anymore. You bought Lewis. I mean, I bought Lewis early in the season and he was not what I thought he would be. Who remembers that time when we were like, oh, we've got a 4.5 million Man City nailed defender. This is brilliant. And City obviously just weren't keeping clean sheets about Rodri. And then he ended up losing his spot anyway. We did score that one brilliant goal though. FPL newsletter says KDB starts. Where's that come from? What, lazy FPL? I don't think they said that. Did they? No. I'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, nothing at the moment. So let's end that poll. A bit closer actually. 40% say Saka starts both. 60% say he doesn't. Lewis was the new Barco. Oh, Barco, what a player. He was the promised one. Rocky says Saliba to Kivior to afford Murphy to Rogers for a -4. Nah, probably not for a hit, Rocky. I'd just leave it, honestly. I'd rather basically roll a transfer than take a -4 to stay on the Arsenal defence and go Murphy to Rodgers. Personally, I wouldn't do that for a hit. I'd do it for free, but not for a hit. David says Pickford / Robinson to Ryan Saliba -8. Yeah, I think that makes sense, to be honest with you, because of the double. I mean, Arsenal have got by far the best clean sheet odds, so doubling up looks good, even for a -8, especially when you're selling Pickford and Robinson, who won't have great odds. I would do it, David, yeah. Rio, thanks for the 12 months. That's 1 year. He says, would you triple captain over bench boost this week? Is your bench boost on? Yeah, mine's on, Rio. It really just boils down to what you think is going to score you more points. Like, if you've got a later week where you've got a strong bench, then save it. But I just think it's not that likely that everything's going to line up where you've got a strong bench, is it? So if you've got a good bench right now, I think I would just triple captain. Yeah, I'd just triple captain later and bench boost now. But yeah, mine's active. So my bench is going to be Martinez, Isak, Wan-Bissaka and Burn. And I'm just going to have to hope for the best of Wan-Bissaka. I'm a bit worried about that one, but it's not worth me spending a transfer or a hit, I don't think. So I'm just going to keep him, even if I have to bench boost 3 players. I'm guessing we don't even know before the deadline. Are you doing any change, Oscar? Yeah, I'm going to make one final transfer. And luckily I've got exact money for this. 0.6 mil, which will be Murphy out, Rodgers in. So that gets me up to 10 doublers on the free hit, basically. So that'll be the team once I make that last move. I'll do that just before the deadline, just in case there's any news or last minute leaks. I recommend, by the way, that you guys do that as well when you can, most game weeks. Obviously some of you just can't be available every deadline, near the deadline, but sometimes you just get last minute leaks and stuff that can change a lot, change your thinking, change your plans. So that's why throughout the season I tend to make my moves just in the last few minutes, because sometimes there can be leaks that can give you an edge or change things drastically. So just in case, I'm not going to make that move just yet. That's my last free transfer. And then as soon as the deadline passes, free hit active, so I'll have loads of free hit content coming next week, so make sure you subscribe for that. James Firth, thanks for super chat, says, what to do with Savinho? Transfer in Merino? I would keep him, James. I was saying earlier, he was meant to start last game week, but it was a last minute decision apparently, so he must have just been short of full fitness. And I wouldn't say Marino's any likelier to play both games, so I would leave him, James. It's not worth spending a transfer. I think it's one of those, I think there's going to be people selling Savinho now that might end up regretting it, because this could be when he actually starts a game now. So I don't think I'd do it. I definitely wouldn't do it. Kano says, Isak to Evan Nilsson and Murphy to Saka -4. Huh? Isak and Evan Nilsson. Oh, Murphy to Saka, got you. Yeah, I quite like that, Kano. I like that. Yeah, I think I'd do that. Just about for a hit. Yeah, I'd go for it. And just hope that Bournemouth get the double game week 36. Then that'll be a brilliant pair of moves. Kay says, I'm chasing ranks. Should I go Enzo to Marino or Saka? And also Palmer to KDB. Palmer to KDB and bench Isak. Looking for differentials. Chasing ranks. Should I go Enzo to Marino? Definitely wouldn't buy Marino. I'm not a big fan of the Marino pick. Like, he might start both. There's a chance he plays in midfield, and there's a chance he doesn't even start both. I'd buy Saka for sure. If you've got the money to do that, yeah, buy Saka. Palmer to KDB and bench Isak. I would just do Palmer to Saka. And if you've got an extra move, like do Enzo to a double game week mid, like Rodgers, Eze, Sarr. I mean, Eze is a differential. if you're looking for a nice differential, Eze I think is the one. He's the least popular of the Palace mids. But yeah, I'd avoid Marino personally. And I'd avoid Trossard, Anthony. I'm just not a fan of the Arsenal mids besides Saka. And even he's not guaranteed to start both. How are we doing, Ashley? Half an hour till deadline. Keep your questions coming. Diaz or Bradley? Diaz. Murphy's got Ipswich home in 35, so I'm hesitant to sell. Yeah, I think for those that aren't free hitting in 34, then... You mean 34, not 35. For those that aren't free hitting, then obviously, yeah, there's a temptation to keep him. Especially when selling him now could leave you like less than 11 players next week. Who do you reckon is the most bought player this week? Most bought player. Todd says, oh, wise Focal, please share the clean sheet odds. That is very generous super chat, Todd. Thank you for that. Let me bring those up for you. So Arsenal 68%. These are the combined odds, so the chances of keeping at least one. Man City 49%. Liverpool 46%. West Ham 40%. Palace 35%. Villa 33%. Man United 33% as well. I'm pretty confident that Man United concede in that one. Since Amrin said he's going to play the kids and focus on Europa. But yeah, Arsenal well ahead. Well ahead as well for projected goals. Anik says, shall I go Konsa for Digne for a -4? Nah, I wouldn't take a hit for that. Not for a hit. You never know, Digne could start both. It's not impossible. So most transferred player this week, it is Saka. 760,000 have transferred Saka in. And then it's Marmoush, 559,000. And it's Rodgers, KDB. Almost 500,000 have bought KDB. Saliba, Vardy, Raya, Timber, Watkins, Marino, Kivior, Mateta, Konsa, Rashford, Murphy. Most sold is, therefore, Palmer. 567,000. Then Kluivert, Mbumo, Aina, Gabriel, Isak, Wood, Bruno. So yeah, it was Arsenal top of the clean sheet odds, Todd. So if you're on double Arsenal defence, you're in a nice position there. CWL says bench boost, 1 free transfer. Murphy slash Livra to Bradley slash 7.4 million midfielder, 2.6 mil on the bank, 10 doublers. Are you ready on triple Arsenal, CWL? Because Livra to Saliba or Kivior is what I would do, and then Murphy to like Rodgers if you can do that. Not a massive fan of the Bradley pick because Trent's back in training now, so you might only get like 2 games out of Bradley, then he could be a problem. So I'd rather Kanate. You're on triple Arsenal and you've got Rodgers. What? Triple? Are you on triple Villa? You could go Murphy to Rashford, or if you haven't got triple Palace, you could go Eze or Sarr. It's hard to know about knowing your whole team, of course. So Wan-Bissaka, I think I have to leave him. It's not worth spending a transfer or a free or a -4, is it? They're scaring me, to be honest. Yeah, but where else do you go? Well, you could go to Mbumo and just stay on a single game weeker. I don't mind that either, if you can afford it. Murphy plus 2.6. What does that get you to? Not quite enough. 7.8. Maybe you can't afford that. Yeah, I'd rather Kanate over Bradley. I think Rashford's okay if you want to attack the double, but yeah, keeping Murphy's alright as well. Or you go to a Bowen. Bowen could be worth a look, actually. Southampton home. Then he's got Tottenham home in 35, who are obviously prioritising Europa. I'd probably do that. Can you afford Kanate and Bowen? Is anyone else buying Bowen this week? Ken Adams says, if you had 2 more transfers, what would you do? If I had 2 more, I would do... Well, I've got one. One of those is Murphy to Rogers. If I had 2 more, it would be, I guess, Wan-Bissaka to Konsa, probably. And then Burn to someone, but I'm not sure who. Maybe Nico, just because he's got slightly better fixtures for the running. I'm almost where I want to be, to be honest. I'm pretty happy with the team I picked on the wildcard. I just, obviously, like pretty much everyone, got a bit unlucky with the Gabriel injury, which ended up leaving me 1 transfer behind where I wanted to be. Wan-Bissaka isn't playing. Is that true, Sammy? I don't know. Potter, the last I heard, Potter said he's had an injection on his toe, or injections, and he should be okay for the game. But yeah, it could be a late fitness test. He could miss out. I'm just going to have to chance it. I have to chance it. It's not worth spending transfers on a maybe. Senya Lump says, Sar to KDB, no free hit 34, -8 for a full 11 and 34 needed. Nah, don't do it, Senor. Don't sell Sar, especially when it's going to leave you needing an extra hit later on in 34. Not worth it. It's just one of those. Even though there's a leak that KDB starts, I just wouldn't do it personally. Peter says, who to buy? 5.1 million defender to enable Morgan Rogers for a hit? Midfielder to Rogers for a hit. 5.1. So it depends if you're tripled up on Arsenal. Kivior's probably the best one under that. Konsa. How much is Kanate? 5.3. Can't afford him. Those would be the 2 that come to mind. Kivior and Konsa. If you're already tripled up, or you can't buy Rogers because you would be tripled up already, then you could go... I mean, Kilman, he's got Southampton home. There's not many options for that cheap, though. Nico Williams. Michael Newton says, Palmer to Saka for free, or Livramento to Konsa and Murphy to Marino for a -4. No, I wouldn't do Livra for a -4, or the Murphy to Marino for a -4. Not worth a -4. I'd just stick with Palmer to Saka, Michael. Thanks for the super chat. I just don't think it's worth a hit from Marino when he might not start both. And Konsa's got bad clean sheet odds. He's got Newcastle and City. I don't like a hit for that. Zelda, thanks for the 22 months. Says, afternoon Oscar, quick one. Triple captain Salah or Marmoush? I would go Marmoush, Zelda. These are the projected points on review for those of you interested. It's really close, like Saka versus Marmoush, and it's all down to minutes. Like, this is based on Saka getting 68 minutes. So what's that? 136 minutes across the 2 games. Might not happen, but they're ahead of Salah by a fair bit, so I'd use it on Marmoush. Pat Key says, -4, Murphy. Burn to Rogers, Skulls. You have Wan-Bissaka as well. Skulls? How much is Skulls? That's an interesting one. He's 4 mil. Yeah, but look at his minutes. He's not even getting past 60 often. Yeah, don't know. It's 4 million. Murphy to Burn. What is it? -4. Murphy, Burn to Rogers. Skulls, Wan-Bissaka. For a -4. It's a really risky one. Because like you need Skulls to play 60, or I don't really like that. But yeah, I think I'd do it. Just trying to think if there's a better 4 mil defender. That's the only thing. Like Agbadu, maybe. Could he be better for the run-in? I'd probably rather go for a reliable 4 mil defender like Agbadu. But yeah, I think I'd do that one, yeah. How are we doing, Biggie? Was Alan says, would you take a -4 for Burn to Bradley on a bench boost? Nah, I wouldn't do it for a -4. I know they've got great clean sheet odds, but Bradley's just going to cause you a headache later. and it's a -4. So you need Burn to concede, you need Bradley to give a clean sheet to break even. Big E says Kiwior and Rogers or Saliba and Murphy plus save 1 free transfer. Probably Kiwior and Rogers, just about. It's very close though. It's basically it's going to come down to whether Villa get the double game week 36. Like, it might pay off this week regardless, but I think if they end up getting that double in 36, then that'll be a nice move to have made now when you look back at it later. And I assume you're on free hit 34, otherwise I definitely wouldn't do that. I would just stick with Murphy. If you're free hitting 34, then I'd do it. Luke, thanks for the membership. Says, can you rate my bench boost? Strand Larsen, Burn, Munoz and Fleckham. Yeah, great bench boost. Strand Larsen, nice fixture. Munoz, double. Fleckham and Burn is what it is. Like, no one's really got a perfect bench boost, have they? Like, mine's far from perfect. Last week, people were getting like 12-point bench boosts. Some were getting less than that. Looks good, Luke. Gerald, thanks for becoming a member as well. Thanks very much, Gerald. Appreciate your support. And Christopher said, best assistant manager, 1 free transfer. You used it on Howe last game week, 2 game weeks left. I would use it on Arteta if you've got the choice. Rob T did a graphic of the assistant manager's odds. Let me find it. There it is. Oh, there we go. So yeah, Arteta's on 15.3, Guardiola 12.8, Postecoglou 10.8. So Arteta's easily the best basically this week. If you've got the assistant manager chip active and you can buy Arteta, then that's what I would do. 2 game weeks left. Yeah, I would go Arteta, and then you have to spend a transfer again in the blank. Mr. Toolshot says Kiwior or Timber. I have Timber. I'm considering a sideways move to Kiwior. Kiwior starts both, and I reckon Timber's benched against Ipswich, but likely to start against Palace. The upside on the attack versus double clean sheet. What do you think? I don't think I'd spend a free transfer on it, Toolshot. I know what you're saying. Like, imagine Timber does start both. Or imagine he gets an attack in return, which is obviously far more likely. I just don't think I'd spend a free transfer on that. I understand it though, but I think if I was in your situation, I just wouldn't want to use a valuable free transfer going from one Arsenal defender to the other. Lucidus says -4, Wan-Bissaka to Konsa. All the best with double game week 33, Oscar. Nah, I could do it for a hit myself, but I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it, honestly, even if it means bench boosting 3 players. Because I just kind of also want to leave, in my case, this might apply to you, but I want to leave the 3rd Villa spot open. Because what if I end up wanting to have Rashford or Watkins or someone if they double in 36, and I've already stuck triple Villa in my team, and 2 of them are defensive players. So I'm just going to leave it open, even if I end up with a crap bench boost. I'm just going to have to pray that Wan-Bissaka starts. Alpine says Glasner and Kiwior to Saka and Arteta, or Burn and KDB. Saka, hang on. Oh, Arteta, Burn, KDB. The first combination is better, yeah. I'd go with the first one. Glasner, Kiwior, Saka. Pat says, or Todibo for 4.2 million. Is he starting games? Isn't the back line a bit of a question mark? He started the last 2. Yeah, that I like that more. That's even better. Go with that and just hope he starts. JGRF says 11 doublers, bench boost active. Burn to Diaz, Murphy to Savinho, roll. Burn to Diaz. Is that Ruben Diaz? Burn to Ruben Diaz I like. Murphy to Savinho is nice. Yeah, I actually don't mind Murphy to Savinho. I just wouldn't be surprised if Savinho finally starts this one, because he was meant to last week, right? I'm really sorry for all the missed messages as well. I'm going as fast as I can. I know I'm missing a lot here, so I'm sorry about that. I'm a bit behind on chat. Yeah. I would do both moves if you've got the bench boost active. If I had to pick one, though, I'd do the first one, Diaz. Andrew says Murphy or Merino or Rodgers for a -8. For a -8, nah, just leave Murphy in. If I had to pick one, it's Rodgers over Merino, definitely. But I wouldn't do it for a -8. Gerald says Barnes, Semenyo, Shada or Murphy for the next 3 game weeks. For the next 3, probably Barnes, right? Villa, Ipswich, Brighton. That's the best next 3. Yeah, I'd say Barnes. Tay Libra says, hello, do you know if Wan-Bissaka's playing today? I wish I knew, because I've got him myself. All we've heard is that from Potter is that he's had injections on his toe. He did say he should be okay. So that's a little bit encouraging. My worry is obviously Soufal isn't bad, is he, in right back? And he's working for a new contract and so on. But I'd like to think he plays Wan-Bissaka because he's way better than Soufal. Dale Richardson says, Oscar, would you Trippier to Kivior -4? If you're free hitting 34, yeah. Otherwise, no. Basically, yeah. Like a Newcastle defender to an Arsenal one, I think is worth a -4. And Bob says, 1 free transfer. I'm on a bench boost. Pick one option. Foden to De Bruyne / Bowen. Bowen to a better single game week defender, or both transfers for a hit or roll. Wait for leaks, Bob. Like if there's a leak, Foden's bench, Bowen, De Bruyne starts, then I'll make the switch. I'd make that switch. I like Mbumo more than Bowen actually. If there's no news, then I'd probably just leave it and roll. Yeah, I don't think I'd sell Burn for a -4 unless obviously you can get to an Arsenal defender. But those are the only ones I'd be comfortable doing a -4 for. VS says, hey Oscar, I've got 5 free transfers and my triple captain and free hit but no bench boost. Who would you pick between Kanate versus Konsa? I'm thinking Marmish triple captain. Is there any key players to bring in for the next 5 game weeks? 5 free transfers, triple captain and free hit. So, yeah, I'll triple captain this week. Kanate versus Konsa. Konsa, unless it means... Unless you've got Martinez as well. I don't like the double up at the back. I'd rather leave a 3rd slot open, which is kind of what I'm doing. So it depends if you've got Martinez or not. I wouldn't want to double up at the back. If you've already got, like, I don't know, Rodgers and Rashford, and then you're looking at buying Konsa, that's fine. Then I'd do it. Otherwise, go Kanate. Marmish triple captain, I would do. 5 free transfers. I mean, it's hard to answer that without knowing what the rest of your team is. Like, if you haven't got triple Arsenal, then spend a transfer or 2 on triple Arsenal. Eze and Sarr and Rodgers are worth buying. Marmish and Vardyl are worth buying. That's kind of the template picks. Raya, Saliba, Kivior. If you can get to any of those, spend your moves on that. Julia says, hey, big fan, would you start Murphy or Elanga? Murphy or Elanga? I mean, it's got to be Murphy with the form he's in. It seems mad to bench him. 14-pointer, 5-pointer, 16-pointer, 5-pointer. I mean, he hasn't blanked since Game Week 28. I'd start Murphy, Julius. Thanks for the super chat. Matt says, rate my bench boost. Martinez, Murphy, Livramento and Milenkovic. 2 free transfers, 0.2 million. So Martinez, that's fine. Murphy's fine. Livramento, Milenkovic. Yeah, I'd only make a move here if you haven't got triple Arsenal, then I'd buy Kivior. Can you afford that? Maybe not. Maybe you can't afford that for Livra or Milenkovic. I'd probably do Livramento. No, I wouldn't. Because you got Martinez. I think I'd leave it honestly and just bench boost that. Not sure it's worth spending transfers. Like, if you haven't got triple Villa, then Murphy to Rodgers. But I don't know. You might already have him or Rashford or something like that, Matt. Have you already got? You got triple Arsenal. Have you already got Rodgers or Rashford? Vardy or captain? Oh, I wouldn't do that, Renato, personally. Not when he's playing the centre-back as well. Any team leaks yet? I'll check in a second. Yeah, we'll have to pause Super Chats so I can catch up with this. Yeah, so to answer your question, Matt, I'd buy Rodgers if you haven't got triple Villa or if you haven't got him already. The transfer I'm making is Murphy to Rodgers in a minute. I'll do that any minute now. Struggling with this game says, is Savinho to Rodgers worth it for a free transfer? Probably not. Probably not with a free transfer. I think I just leave it. I mean, Rodgers is slightly better this game week, but... Well, let's see if we get a leak. Like, if Savinho's benched, then obviously do it, but I'd leave it otherwise. Let's check if we had anything. Nothing yet. I'll keep an eye on it. Yash says, on a free hit, can you show a draft? On a free hit. So, I would have... It'd be something like this. And Isak could be on the bench. If you haven't got the money, then you just downgrade him to someone like Wissa. I'd leave Konate in, actually. Go Munoz, something like that. Too many Palace. Yeah. Ruben, that's it. I think I'll do that. If I'm on a free hit, that's pretty much the draft there. So only one Villa asset, basically. Obviously, you could swap Burn out. You've got like 1 million in the bank with that. And you bench Wissa, you bench Konate, and you bench Burn, 3-5-2. Double Arsenal defence, double Man City defence. Triple Palace attack. Go with that, Yash. Matej says, bench 2 out of Burn, Milenkovic, and Isak Murphy. I would bench... I'd bench Burn and Murphy, I would say. Milenkovic, he's got Spurs, right? Isak, I can't bench Isak. I know Murphy's smashing it, but you can't bench him. Yeah, I'll keep checking. About 10 minutes till deadline, so we might get something, might not. If we get any leaks, I'll let you know. Start Murphy or Savinho? Savinho. Murphy will score again. Oh, probably will. I'm going to have sold him as well in a minute. He's definitely leaving my team. So that'll be the move. Bench boost active. Alright, I'm sticking a poll up. If you've got a chip active, what is it? So bench boost, triple captain, assistant manager, free hit. There might be wildcards as well, so sorry to the wildcard gang. Let us know which chip you've got active. A7MD says Savinho to Bowen -4. Nah, not for a hit. I wouldn't even do it for free. I wouldn't even do that for free. Let me ask, do Marmish and Vardy will start? Right, Amy Pan says Wan-Bissaka replacement, 4.7 million budget, Saliba, Burn, Konate, Vardy, the rest of the team is sorted. 4.7 million. I think I'd just leave Wan-Bissaka in, Amy. I don't know. Where do you go from Wan-Bissaka? Like, there's Kilman, But it's just such an uninspiring way to spend a transfer. I just think you'll get more from the transfer later, potentially. You've got 10 minutes to do your Wan-Bissaka deep dive on the dark web. You could go to Kilman if you really want to sell him. Kilman, obviously Southampton home as well. Bradley is 4.7. Is that true? I thought he was more. I thought he was 4.8. No, he's 4.7. Yeah, you could go Bradley, but he's going to be a problem for you later. That's the only thing. And you go double Liverpool defence with Bradley as well. Yeah, probably Bradley's your best bet if you really want to sell him. VS says, squad. I'm going to keep him, by the way. I'm just going to bench boost Wan-Bissaka, whatever happens. Squad looks like Kepa, Konsa, Saliba, Vardy, Osar, Murphy, Saka, Salah, Isak, Mateta, Marmoush, with Semenyo, Kanate, Burn on the bench, with a 3.9 mil keeper and 0.4 mil on the bank. 5 free transfers pending. Looks good. Yeah, nice. So you're not free hitting in 34 then? Is that your plan? Or you are? Or are you going to free hit and then you mean the other side of the free hit? You have 5. Nice team. The Nikaj says triple captain Marmish or bench boost Kirkes, Liver and Murphy. I would go for the bench boost, I think. Just get out of the way. I don't know who your keeper is. As long as your keeper actually plays. Otherwise, yeah, you need to spend a transfer on a keeper. But you'll have to check if your bench looks stronger in a later week, but you might not get a better opportunity. Luke says, no news on City yet, so Oscar, should I keep Bowen now or move for KDB? We might. Still a little bit of time to go. Still a bit of time to go. Let me keep checking it. I'd just keep Bowen, I would say. I just don't trust KDB to start both games. I'm just not a fan of buying someone that I'm not that confident in starting both games. I'd rather just save myself the headache and the stress waiting for the lineups to drop. Holy Guacamole, thanks for the super chat as well. And Waka says -8 to go from 4 to 8 double game players bench boost. From 4 to 8, I mean, it depends on the ones you're buying, but that's not bad for a -8. Like if you're adding 4. Yeah, if you're adding 4 double game players to your team, that seems worth a -8 to me. Right, still nothing. I'm going to make my move in a second before the game crashes, probably. Who should you captain? I'm on Marmish captain, sack of ice. Let's do a final captain poll. So 76% bench boost and 8% triple captain, 11% assistant manager and 5% free hit. So we'll go Marmoush. The poll is up. Yeah, nothing on Man City yet, so I can't answer the questions about if KDB plays. We might not get a leak at all. We'll have to see. I'll keep checking though. The last 5 minutes till the deadline. I hope Salah punishes you all. Nice one. Thanks, Marco. You know what? He probably will. Let's be honest. Like, what are the odds of Salah blanking against Leicester? It's just not happening, is it? Wan-Bissaka's a Konsa free transfer. Probably... For free? Probably, yeah. Do it for free. Not for a -4. Nothing at the moment. What did that say? Reddit says FPL Tony's in a meeting and he won't be available for leaks, but Foden could be benched and Savio could start from the team that he received yesterday. No idea if that's true or how Reddit's got that and posted that. But that lines up with what I've basically been saying the whole stream. I would expect Savinho to start this one. Foden maybe not. KDB probably will if I was to guess. But ultimately the problem with the likes of KDB is, does he start both games in the double? If he does, then he's a fantastic pick. Right, let me make my move. Murphy to Rogers, done. Refresh. Alright, I'm taking a screenshot. Let's quickly share that. So it was Murphy to Rogers. Boom, that's shared. Alright, let's check over here. Nothing. Rogers or Rashford on a free hit from Luke. I'd go Rogers. Just because it's boring, but he should start both. Holy Guacamole says, rate my bench boost. Raya, Salah, Marmoush and Saka. Terrible. Terrible bench boost. Raya, Salah, Marmoush, Saka. No, you can do better than that. Doesn't look like we're going to get anything leaks wise, unfortunately. I'm checking, but there's nothing. So Marmoush captain. Saka vice for me. That's me. I'm locked in. So the transfers I made, I went Palmer to Saka. Oh, it's the website down. And Murphy to Rogers. I'm still checking, but don't know if we'll get anything this last minute, unfortunately. So yeah, the only thing we've had is Mateta starts. Start Isak or Rogers. I'd start Rogers vs. Start Rogers. You've got about 40 seconds, if that, so quickly do it. You haven't got much time. The website's crashed. Yeah, you don't want to be making changes this last minute. The apps tends to work better when it's proper last minute like this. So that's it. I'm locked in. Before you all go, do hit like and make sure you subscribed. I hope you enjoyed the stream. KDB and Savinho start from Main Road. Savinho and KDB start. You're going to have... That's crazy to do it that last minute. You're going to have like 10 seconds to react to that. KDB and Savinho start. KDB and Savinho start. There you go. But that came so last minute. I don't know if anyone... Did anyone manage to react to that in time? I mean, that's the most last minute leak, isn't it? There you go. So, yeah, I can't stick around today. I'm going into London to see my mates. So, thank you all for tuning into this deadline stream. I hope it was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, good luck this game. I hope you'll smash it, get huge green arrows. Good luck for those of you with chips active as well. That's it from me. Focal out.